Again, back in our project, and a little note here. As we will continue to enhance our project now, you will experience some loading times when you select different queries or when you apply different operations. This, well, also depends on your system performance in general, but this is also normal at this stage in Power BI Desktop. We are working with relatively big data. The source data are around 100 megabytes, so these loading times when we query the data, well, cannot be avoided. Once we leave the query editor though, in the next module, we won't have any more loading times at all, so we have to be a bit patient at this stage, but that's also part of the data preparation. You have to be patient here, but once you have your data set, you are ready to go. Just wanted to note that. So let's now have a look at how we can create our DIM age table. As for the DIM region table, this table will be based on our population combined query here. So we will select this query, and now we right click it, and now we create another reference. We talked about the difference between duplicates and reference. I want to stick to references here like this. So we have the new query, which we can already drag and drop into our data model group because it's part of the actual data model. And here we have the loading times I was just referring to. You can rename the query in the meanwhile though. It's already loaded now. So we will call this one dim age maybe and hit enter. And as you can see with the reference, we only have this source applied step here. This also makes it easier for you to track which changes we applied. Now in this age table, we first have to make sure that we only have information which is related to the age of our population. For this, I'll go to the home ribbon and now go to choose columns, and here choose columns again. You know this feature already. Here we'll first unselect all columns, and now we'll check which columns we need. We don't need the country ID or the country, as this is, well, country-specific information covered in the DIM region table. Year, as we just saw it on the slide, will be part of the fact table in the end. The gender is also not related to the age, therefore it will be also part of the fact population table, as it will be the case for the population count down here. This means we only need our age group here in this DIM age table. So let's select age group and press OK. Now we again have some loading time. Now we have our age groups. But what's the goal now actually? Well, this is the starting information we have. So we have different ranges for the age groups of our population. Now I want to add several things to this age group query. These things include an index, because as for our DIM region table, I want to make sure that each individual age group has an ID, a unique identifier, which can then be later, well, added to our fact population table. So this will be this connection between the fact population table and the DIM age table, so the ID. I also want to make sure that we have no duplicates in here. This will be the first step now we will tackle. And in addition to the age groups, I want to have something like an age category, you could say. For example, 0 to 4 here, this could be something like a baby. Then we have down here 5 to 9. This could be a child maybe. 10 to 14 could also be a child, we'll see. So I just want to add different categories. And for this, I need to be able to extract the numbers behind these ranges. Because at the moment we have text in here, and from plain text, well, it's hard for Power BI Desktop to identify any numeric values and therefore to categorize any ages. So lots of things to do in here. Let's tackle the problems step by step. The first one is I want to get rid of any duplicates in here because we only need each age group once. For this, we can right click onto our column. Now press onto remove duplicates. We know this feature already. Again, we have to be a bit patient here until the data is loaded again. Now we have each age group only once. And as we have unique values here, we can also add an ID. Because an age group here is not the best ID. If you think back about our DIM region table here, for example, we had the country ID, which were kind of numbers. So I think we should follow the same approach. So in the DIM age table, we now need to add a new column with the numbers from, well, 1 to 21 up here. We could try to add such numbers manually, but there is a nice convenience feature which allows us to add such index columns automatically by Power BI Desktop. To access this feature, we just go to the Add Column ribbon now, a new ribbon we didn't explore so far. And in this ribbon, you now have some general options to interact with your columns. If you look right here, you can find this index column option. As always, if you click onto it in the right part with this arrow right here, you see we have 3 different options. We can create an index column starting from 0, so it will start from 0, then 1, 2, 3, and so on. It can start from 1, so 1, 2, 3, and so on. And we can create a custom new index column. We can try this custom column, for example, like this. Then we could say we want to have a starting index of 2 and an increment of 3. Starting index will be the first number, and then 3 will be added, so it should be 2, 5, 8, and so on. Let's give this a quick try here, just to demonstrate this feature. And the index column was added, and you see we start at 2, then 5, 8, and so on. So 2 is a starting value with an increment of 3. That's a nice index, but I actually think an index starting from 1 with an increment of also 1 would be the better one here. So let's quickly undo this step here. And let's again go to add column, index column, and now say we want to start from 1. This index was also created now. Let's drag it to the front as we did it for the dim region table. And here let's quickly check. It was called country ID. So let's do the same thing here. Let's rename this to age minus ID. And let's also change the format from the decimal number to a whole number here, just to be in line with the formatting and the general structure that we have in our dim region table here. So with this, the first steps in our dim age table are done. Don't forget to save your project from time to time, by the way. So we click right here and we don't apply the changes. So with that, our current progress is saved. And in the next lecture, we'll now dive deeper into these age groups here.